All right. Craziness. It's nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I listened to half an episode on the way here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So you wanted to
Ian's.
know the style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know how we roll.
Also, I just want to make fun of Ian next time I see him. So there is a double duty listening to that one.
Okay, good. What do you think you're gonna tell them about that episode?
I think it's like, we're not even in the episode yet. I got like your intros are so long. We've gotten to
Our intros are long.
we've got
Daniel.
him at Authentics.
Okay, so
That's as
he
far as
still
we got.
sounds. Does he sound ridiculous or?
Oh no, no, it's just him just telling his story. And he's
Okay.
The men's room at Starbucks was good. I like the interview. That's something I would do. Just continue. Don't stop.
From Indianapolis, Indiana, this is Truth It.
We had I had an old employee, and she's great. Love her. Tamara's great. And when we were interviewing her, she's like, "I need you to know something. I'm a crier." I'm like, "What does that mean?" She goes, "No, like."
She called this out in the interview.
Oh yeah, she
that
goes,
she's
before you
a
hire,
cry.
like, I'm gonna cry for sure. Like someday will be hard. I will cry. Work through it. Don't
Okay.
stop. If I'm going through a constructive criticism, lay in. Let's go. Like
Yeah.
I just cry. I can work through it, and I will tap out if I'm like, we need to take a break. I've learned this about myself. I know when to tap. I'm like, okay. And, man, the first time we were like, she was like, we were waterworks, and she's like, no, I'm good. We're going, and like, it was just the oddest employee-employer relationship ever because like. During hard reviews, it was just all tears.
Is she crying over something?
Oh yeah, about the thing I'm talking about. Like we were like,
Yeah, you're
we
talking
have
about-
to fix this thing that you're working on, and it's insane. But we get out and she's like, that was no, we'll fix it all. It's all good. And like it was the oddest. Like just you got to push through it.
Wow,
Just
wow,
continue.
wow. So she knows that her crying is disruptive to other people if they...
Like, in an employee, like because again, she's like, it doesn't matter for anyone else other than my boss because it's just I care. And
So
if I
she
let someone
cries
down-
about anything she cares about.
I know she cares enough about her career that it's so important she'll cry, which is awesome. Like again, this is why she's
Okay,
great.
hold on. Have you ever had an employee that cries like that?
No.
neither.
I've never met someone that cries like that. I think I have.
I bet you have.
I'm sure I have.
I bet
I'm sure
you
I
have.
There are some people that are on the easy cry side,
Yeah.
and some people that are on the difficult,
Right.
like rare cry side.
But what he's
And I was
describing,
the only one in the company that could do this because I don't know, my autism lets me just see like just
You're
and
autistic.
I like puzzles.
Nice.
Purdue trains are good. I'm
got it.
that level. And it was
What
like,
about coffee? Do you like coffee?
I love coffee.
Oh,
I can
hold
make you
on.
some coffee.
Hold
You're
on.
going to take this one.
Yeah,
Okay, I get this one. Excellent.
I got her.
Yeah.
Let me text Carrie.
Okay.
we need another cup of coffee. She's
My
gonna
wife
love
is
me for
taken
this.
to practicing her
Barista
espresso.
skills.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what's the?
We need a third. I'll take.
Hello.
Oh, I was just getting ready to text
Actually,
you.
you custom made that one, right?
Well, it's just got a little sprinkle of sugar and a raw.
No, I'll go full coffee.
All right.
He takes it the real way.
The
only way.
I don't like sugar or dairy. It's interesting.
That's
but
good.
no
Is that an
dairy?
autistic thing?
No, that's just me.
Hold on. Hold on.
Are we
hold on.
allowed to talk about
Yes,
autism?
we are.
if
Of
you're-
course we
I
are.
don't know. I mean, like, are we allowed? I don't care.
Yeah, of course we are. But can we back up? No dairy. So what do you do with pizza? Or do you not
No,
like
cheese
pizza?
is fine. I'm
okay.
not like I'm not going to put milk in my
I
coffee
got
or
it.
an
Got
ice
it.
cream person.
Yeah.
What
I'm
do you
with
think
you on
about
that.
ice cream?
Oh no, I used to work at an ice cream shop, but I don't touch it. Don't touch the stuff.
Really?
Okay.
I don't
going
like
to-
sweets. Give me acid, bitter. I need coffee, tea, citrus. Yeah.
I'm going to Dairy Queen after this.
Yeah. You could just go to Ritter's or some of the serves real
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah,
that's right.
Dairy Queen. I'm old school.
Dairy Queen's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Bought my
We
first
all love
card
it.
at Shitter's Frozen Custard at Ritter's. Broke every labor law known to man when we started there. That was a good time.
I love it. I want to go back to this crying thing, though.
Yeah.
So she shares this with you.
Yep.
You embrace it.
I was like, okay, I think we deal with this. And it was like later, like months later, that the first we
And then what
first review.
happened? Then were you
And
like,
I
what
go-
the
I go,
hell?
hey, is this the like we work through this, or is this the like I should stop because I'm hurting your feelings? No, we should work through this one. And my CTO Drew is like way too much of a people person. He's like, I could never do what you're doing. I'm like, that's okay. And like,
I'm not sure I could.
For the entire time we worked together, Tamara and I, we had tough stuff. We would just work through it, just work through the tears.
Wow.
And again, she got stolen. She's at Havarti Risk Management now, and she's phenomenal. She's there, I think, COO or the director of operations.
Did she disclose that she's a big time crier to them as
Oh,
well?
I'm sure she did. It's her personality.
I love it.
But
I
no,
love
she's
it.
great. She's hilarious. She just cares. She
Yeah.
cares. She doesn't want to let people down. And
I get that.
And I'm like, I respect it. And you gave me the heads up. And if you
Yeah.
can actually, and she's tapped out. Like there were times like, can we tap out of this one? I'm done. I'm like, yeah, that's good. But it was one of those things. That,
Okay,
like,
hold on. When you tap out, what's that like? What's that like?
She literally goes like, no, we've reached the point. I need like a break emotionally. Like I'm actually upset.
kidding.
This isn't just the tears that I care.
I feel like HR
that was
would be
awesome.
all over us on this conversation.
Oh, that's yeah.
right.
If we had a real HR department, I'd be fired.
I think
before
yeah,
the place.
I think we'd be fired for having this conversation.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
think they're giving us a call after this, and we don't even have an official HR department. But I bet you some
See,
HR
I have a
department's going to reach out.
I'm trying to call me and let me know. That
I think Carrie's
I shouldn't
gonna
be
fire
managing
us.
people.
Yeah, you should or should not be.
So we've already talked
Most
about.
people shouldn't be managing people, for that matter. Go ahead.
We've already talked about. We've talked about criers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've really skirted on the edge of making fun of both people that cry and people that don't cry.
Yeah.
A little bit.
What do you think about people that never cry?
I think
Do you
there's
think
something
that's
wrong.
normal?
No.
I don't think it's normal. I mean, there's like sometimes you need a good cry and you haven't had one in a while, so you need to watch a movie where the dog dies.
What's
like
your?
that's how you do it.
Oh.
What's
look
your
at
cry
you.
level, Grant?
Oh, I don't very often, but I'll know I need one. So you got to go watch a movie where the dog dies. Like that's how you do it. That's how you get it out.
Okay, so you literally have strategies for crying. You're
Yeah,
like,
because if you
I-
don't get it out, you'll get just worked up for too long. Like the stress will live in the back of your mind.
That's very interesting. What's
So
your,
you don't need something particular to cry about.
just need something to
say,
cry.
I need to go.
No, like I'm too stressed overall. It's all built up. Who knows if you know at the time or not whether the thing
Yeah.
that's making you
Yeah.
feel bottled up you can pinpoint. But if you go watch a good movie where the dog dies, you'll cry and let it all out.
You know what's interesting about that is I feel like it is when my kid was born, I was like, I think I'm supposed to react in some way, and nothing happened. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. you're like, okay.
I'm like, it's a real kid.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do something with
Yeah.
it. And then eventually I realized that I had my emotions bottled up in some way, and it's kind of still there.
Yeah, okay, hold on. I want to go back.
But I can cry at a movie
What's your cry level?
if
Where
I
the dog
need
dies.
to. It doesn't. It's not usually dogs don't get to me.
What does?
No, it's okay. So Nacho Libre was a good one for me.
Nacho Libre. That was a great
Okay,
movie.
so you got this. First of all, it's a comedy.
It's awesome.
So you go into it knowing,
Yeah.
you know that it's a lighthearted movie, and then there's someone who is trying to. He has an unusual talent.
Yeah.
He's trying to bring that to the world.
Yeah.
He's told by the church that he can't do that. Like that's stifled, right? And so then he finds a way to express himself, and it changes the people around him. So I'm starting to get a little choked up just talking about it.
I love it. Go on.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so it got me, and
Yeah.
I think that
Did the kid get you, or was it the wrestler? Was it the relationship that got you? What got you? What caught you? I know the movie.
it was the arc of the story. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't a single.
The
moment.
arc of the story. I like
Yeah,
that.
you like
You
that.
are a marketing person. I swear to God. Have you seen the Graham Norton show with Robbie Williams recently?
No.
You said something about childbirth, which I found very funny with Robbie Williams. He's being interviewed by Graham, and Graham said, "Were you there for the birth of your child?" And he said, "I was." And he said, "What was that like?" And he said, "It's like watching my favorite pub burn down."
Oh, that's good.
I was like, did I hear that right? I'll send it to you, the clip. It's priceless.
Yeah.
And then the actress.
And that's gonna be the delivery is just gonna be perfect.
Oh, it was just
best timing.
awesome. And the actress that's sitting beside Robbie Williams, she's like, "So did you rebuild it?" And he's like, "No, we're having another child." And she said, "Sometimes it's just better to leave things as they are." And he said, "For the moment, I would agree." I was just like watching my favorite pub burn down. All right. I am not so I am emotional, and I cry at family events like funerals, not weddings, but where there's something, I don't know, something really. My parents are about to celebrate their 60th wedding anniversary.
That's amazing.
And my father had a song made for it, and he sent it over to me, and I listened to it. That caused me to weep a little bit. And I was like, yeah, that's beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
You like anything related to family?
Family for sure.
Yeah.
After that, I could give two
Why
shits.
don't we move that mic down so we can see your face?
Yeah. I was like, where is the?
Just push down on
yeah,
it?
just push down on it. There's
Yeah.
I don't know which
You
one
can
of
push down this whole lever.
This whole lever.
Yeah, there
That's
you
what
go.
I didn't want to
There
just
you go.
push. We've got a podcast set up at our studio. I'm like, which one of these is friction articulated? Which one do I have to crack loose?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly what we think about all the time.
Never. Did you say Purdue graduate?
Yep.
What year?
I stopped living on campus in 2012.
I like where this
but
is going.
I got my piece of paper with my name on it in 2014.
Got it. And what's your degree in?
I have a degree in mechanical engineering with a minor in electrical and the entrepreneurship certificate. But I double majored for all of my years in
course
mechanical
you
and
did.
electrical. I want to do EVs. I was a nerd. And I hated myself. So this fit in really
You
well.
wanted to do EVs.
Well, so
You have to explain that.
when I was a little boy, my mom
Yes.
told me I was very special, and we got here. Thank you so much. Also, is this podcast or is this just us warming up?
This
Yeah.
it's all of
Absolutely.
it. It's all of it. It's
Also,
all
yes,
good.
got it.
Daniel will edit out what he wants and create his own
Keep what I
show.
like.
Yeah, we just
ditch
don't
what I
even
don't
edit our
Yeah.
podcast. We just let it rip.
Pretty much.
So we've got in high school I was a tuner car kid, right? So think Fast and Furious. That came
Yeah,
out at a
yeah,
very
yeah. No,
formative moment in
you've got my
childhood.
attention. Were you playing with nitrous and all that stuff too, or no?
I didn't have nitrous, but I had just about everything else. So
Okay.
my mom made the very poor choice when I was like 12 to say, hey, whatever you save for your first car will match.
Oh,
That was not good. I'm good at math.
That
That
was
was
dumb.
bad for her.
Yeah.
So I started like babysitting and doing chores, and then when I was 14 in Indiana, you get a job. Like you're like get a real job. So I started working at Ritter's Frozen Custard, schlepping ice cream. Next summer, become manager at 15. I'm managing these like college kids. It was insane. Broke every labor law. Like we were working 40-hour weeks in the school year in middle school, and all summer I was pulling 60, 70-hour weeks. I loved it. It was just fun.
holy cow!
Ended up working at Wendy's in the winter when Ritter's was shut down. So flipping burgers, got robbed at gunpoint at the Wendy's at Carmel and Michigan Road. There, that was a great time.
Oh yeah.
Really formative. But through all this, I'm just working to save money to buy a new Nissan 350Z because the car had just come out. Like that, like they revived the Z series, and I thought it was
Yes,
cool.
I remember.
And then my dad's at a law firm, and one of his coworkers was selling a 1992 Nissan 300ZX, and this is in like 2005.
Okay.
And it was like $3,000. The Kelly Blue Book on it was like $5. I was like, wait, this is a great investment. I'll just buy this and flip it, and I can learn how to drive stick while I'm on my learner's permit, and then get rid of it and buy the car that I want. Well, as any teenage boy does, they fall in love with their first car.
Yeah.
But I had $30,000 in cash, and my mom had like, I'm not matching that.
How much?
$30,000, like some bank just hanging out.
So she had to break her promise because
I was
were-
too successful. Yeah,
Yeah, you were-
I was too much of a workaholic.
We need to pause here just for a second. Most people at that age drive to get what they want, and they're not thinking about, I can flip it and make money, or I can do something above and beyond and go to the next level.
Capitalism has driven everything I've ever done.
Dude, from that age, how old were you at that time?
I mean, I was 15 when I bought that car, but
Son
I
of a
was
bitch.
we were optimizing for dollars at 12 and 13 because I had this goal, and it was a big goal, and I've always been a big fan of like the delayed gratification. I understand why people run ultra marathons. I don't. I'm in fitness protection. That doesn't make any sense to me to do
I'm
that to
in
your body.
fitness
Like, that doesn't happen.
protection.
But
Whatever.
I understand long-term goals. I really like working really hard towards something that seems outrageous that no one else could pull off,
Okay.
and then you go do it.
Okay.
That is
That would
appealing
be an
to me.
ultra marathon.
Yeah, but I don't
You're
do
not
physical
gonna do
stuff.
that.
I do all kinds of other things, just not
Got
in
it.
that category.
Got it.
So this car, like, same if this like fast car was, everyone said you're not going to make it, and I was like, bet, like, I've done the math. I know exactly how many hours I have to work. We're going to do this. But I had $30,000 in cash laying around in a car that I loved. And Fast and Furious was like probably a second or third movie at this point. So I'm like, what do? Well, you put it all into the hood. But
Or you invest it.
well, that would have been smart, but
You didn't do that.
I didn't do that.
Okay.
I invested it under the hood of the car.
Yeah, of
It-
I thought you said capitalism drove everything.
Well, see, the thing is, I think it did. It got there. So
I think it did.
I end up like designing all these parts, like these turbochargers and this computer that would program the whole thing and run the car and like all these big fuel
These
injectors.
are your parts.
Well, I mean, I don't make them. I go on the internet and buy.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'm choosing.
Just
what would
making
all
sure
go
we
together.
hear you
Like,
right.
I would design the system that would all fit together and do the thing.
Okay.
But my dad didn't change our oil in our cars. Like we were not a handy family.
Okay.
So I had to go to a speed shop, which these things used to exist, and you'd go to this like tuner car shop, and you'd give them your debit card and say, melt this thing, and I gave it my car, and we imported half a car from Japan so they could rip the engine out of it and strip it all down and build this up. And
Good Lord.
4 months later, I had a 500 something horsepower twin turbocharged race car that was my daily driver at 16. And
Okay.
that's what got me into engineering. They was like, oh, you really can build whatever you'd like, and if you work hard enough and you spend
Yeah.
time on it, it becomes something that everyone said you couldn't do.
So when did the EVPs hit you?
Oh wait, I'm at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go work for an American automotive manufacturer is my goal. I'm going to go to Purdue and build fast cars. all the automotive companies crash out. I'm crying on the couch. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life because like evidently there's no money in cars.
Yeah.
When you're 18, the world's not very big. It doesn't go on.
Right.
Everything that happens in the moment is happening forever. And there's this program on the Discovery Channel about this really cool new company called Tesla that like not yet released a car.
Never heard of them.
And like there's this crazy guy named Elon Musk that's like trying to make these EVs fast.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? This is going to be such a new technology. If I start now, I'll be at the top of the game. Like there's no one that'll have 30 years of experience on me. Like we're all going to have 0 years of experience.
Yep.
And so I decided to go to Purdue to double major in mechanical and electrical engineering to do the EV and the vehicle side of EVs. And Purdue gets a $6 million grant for that the summer before I start.
Yeah.
So we end up, that's how I met my co-founder and all the rest of us idiots in leadership Glassboard right now. We get drafted into this program at Purdue called the EV Grand Prix. So Purdue's got the gas Grand Prix where all the frats get drunk and race,
I've been out there.
Go-karts around.
Yep.
The professor that wrote this grant for EV education had this one sub-paragraph that was like, hey, for fun to have the kids show what they learned, we'll have them build electric go-karts and race around the track that we built for this other event. Wow. And that's what got them the grant. Like the Department of Energy was like, yeah, like we want to see this race happen. So the professor had no interest in putting on a race. He was going to go build all the coursework and the research and the batteries and these things. So they recruited a bunch of children to put on this race. So we got drafted. I built an electric go-kart as like a senior physics project in high school, but it was like lead acid batteries held on with bungee cords to a rusted out go-kart frame. But it worked. It was fun. And I meet Drew Westrick, my co-founder, my CTO, and Sean Kleinschmidt, who's now our COO, and we all do different parts of this, put on this race. And we had 17 go-karts the first year and 3,000 spectators, and Purdue kicked us all out after that. Like, hey, this got too big. We can't have kids running this. This is real now. So we weren't bitter at all. So we formed the EV Club to go compete in the event that we'd written the rules for, and we knew how to cheat incessantly because no one could catch us because we wrote the rules. So we had 2 or 3 times the power of everybody else. We hired a professional driver, and we went undefeated for the rest of our career in electric racing at Purdue. So that's what got me into double majoring, doing the EV game.
Got it.
And all that.
What happened to chasing Tesla? You didn't want to
do? It's a fun fact. So I go to Delphi in my sophomore year as an internship. Worked at Purdue to transition the EV Grand Prix to administration freshman year. Went to Delphi corporate automotive after sophomore year. Thinking like this is the automotive industry. Like this is how you make car parts. And I thought I was going to jump off of a building. There just wasn't one tall enough. It was beige cubicles and flickery lights and people that didn't care about their jobs.
Yeah.
And I was just devastated.
Yep.
But I found this guy that was a consultant. I never heard that word. He was a consultant, and he was there every day, but wasn't an employee. He was doing all of the work. Like, he was the only smart guy in the room that was making all the choices, doing all the stuff, and he got paid more hourly than everyone else did. I thought that was pretty fascinating. And he's the only guy that was doing real work. So I just stuck my teeth into him like a vampire and sucked all the knowledge out.
Yeah.
But also, I was like, I made his coffee. I did whatever he needed because I wanted to learn. So I ended up one week I get called into HR and I sit down and there's like a really nicely dressed attorney in one seat and there's the director of HR in the other, and I'm like a 19-year-old kid.
You're already off and running with the HR at the age of 19.
Well, and I'm like, and they look really nervous, and I'm like, why am I here, guys? What's going on? And like,
so the attorney looked nervous.
Oh, he looked very nervous. And
interesting.
And I'm like, guys, did something happen to someone on my team? Like, what's wrong? Like, did someone get hurt? Because we were working like 600-volt battery packs. Like, someone could have died. Like that was the news I was expecting when I see you need to go to HR and talk to this person. There's some very sad looking people.
Yeah.
And they're like, who hurt you? And I was like,
who hurt you?
I forget how they phrase it. I tell the joke as who hurt you? But like, hey, who's making you do all this? I was like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, we have the security camera footage and we have your badge ins. You worked 100 hours a week the last 3 weeks and you slept in your car in the parking lot. I'm like, oh yeah, we had to get the test run for our customer. Like, we had to get this done. And like, I didn't have kids, so I could like stay here. Like, it wasn't a big deal. You just pay me overtime. Like, this is the best deal ever. And they're like, wait, you volunteered? I'm like, volunteered? Can you let me do it next week? And they're like, will you sign this document? He pulled out this document in his briefcase, slid it across, that like, I'm not being forced to do this. So they thought they were abusing the kids. And I was like, wow, that was just the best day ever. So that's when I realized that when you get called into HR because you're working too much, like that, they're like, who's making you do this? Because it's so out of the ordinary. You wanted to deliver for the customer. Right. I was like, this isn't the place for me.
Especially in that setting.
Yeah. Yeah, like, this isn't the place for me. I'm like, if hard work's not rewarded, it's punished. I'm like, I'm not going to be here.
Tesla would love you.
Well, they would. And so the next summer, so Sean, my COO, went to Tesla that summer. Yep. He was at Tesla that summer, was an intern, and had a great time. And the next summer, I got the opportunity to join my co-founder, Drew, at this startup here in Indianapolis called Indy Power Systems.
Oh, yeah.
And we were building grid energy storage systems.
I remember.
Oh, you make
seriously.
Steve Tolan and...
I
Drew
know
Hansen.
all about you guys, or all about that process, but
Yeah.
that's a whole nother story.
Whole
Go
other
on.
story.
Sorry.
No, so I'm employee 5. My other buddy, Drew, is employee 4, and my buddy Tony's employee 3. And Tony now runs Raptor Manufacturing for Elon at SpaceX. He's brilliant and a crazy person. But it's 3 children and 1 master's degree is engineer, Drew Hintz from Rose-Hulman, who's like good and brilliant and amazing. And then Steve Tolan, who's a banker, who's the CEO and is like the visionary behind this company. And we're building microgrids, like 600-volt microgrids for factories and whoever buy it from us. Lead-acid batteries and lithium batteries. And like when we're building it, we're not like my car, I piece together parts other people built to make a system. We were like building the circuit boards from scratch. It was insanity. I don't know how we didn't die. I mean, it was really dangerous, but like we survived and I have all my fingers. But that was it. I mean, that was like the first taste of, wait, you're the whole reason this worked. It's all on you.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying to some people, but to me, that was the best news ever.
Yeah.
So we all dropped out of college that summer. I went full equity, no cash, no salary. Like, let's go all in. That was like 2 weeks into the job. I was like, yep, we're going all in.
So I want to hear about this consultant. Whatever happened to that motherfucker?
Oh, he's coming back. There's a boomerang in the story.
Okay.
So we are building microgrids, and it's going great until we run out of money because it's a startup, and it wasn't going good. So Drew and I go back to school. Tony had already graduated. He was a year older than us. So he went to go work with his aunt in South Africa doing solar and microgrids.
Just for the sake of understanding the timeline, how long are you out of school before you go back to school?
9 months. Like
Okay.
less than a year.
Less than a
full
year.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot to him because he's way younger than us.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so
That's exactly right.
we begrudgingly go back to school, but kind of, sort of. In that transition when the company was doing really poorly, Drew and I got this like Facebook message or LinkedIn message of some guy. It's like, hey, we see you race these go-karts like for fun. Would you sell me some? And Drew and I are like, build race cars for money? Yeah, we'll build race cars for money. Like, whatever you need, man. So we start EVC Racing, LLC, in my mom's basement. Fully finished basement in Zionsville, Indiana. Building go-karts. And there's still, I think...
First of all, congrats on the basement.
Yeah.
That's
Nice
That
job,
sounds
Mom.
Nice.
Barbie is amazing. My
Your
mom-
mom's name is Barbie?
Oh, yeah.
My mom's name is Barbie.
They're the best. I've been living with
That's
Barbie.
a decent name. I mean,
Your mom's name is Barbie.
Yeah, that's right.
I did not know this.
Yeah, my mom's name is Barbara, but she goes by Barb, and those of us that like to poke fun of her very
Barb.
fun personality because she's never boring is Barbie. It's her alter ego where the fun comes out. I've been living with Barbie for the last 4 months because my wife and I were in between houses. So I recently got to relive the transition to childhood now again. It was insane. But we're in Barb's
We're
basement.
coming back to that.
I think there's still a black line of grease in the ceiling from when we spun up the cart down there and the chain was full of grease and
Oh,
grease
God.
in the ceiling.
Yeah.
But she's a trooper. She loved it. She, she was proud of her little boy in the basement building
So,
a company.
how long were you down in the basement?
2 years we were down there building go-karts.
Wow.
But we were young and stupid.
Who were you building the carts for?
There's this guy in Vancouver that wanted to start a feeder series to Formula E because that was brand new at the time.
Yeah.
And there was no go-kart series that was electric.
Right.
So he wanted to
Yeah.
do this feeder series where they'd race on city streets just like Formula E does.
Yes.
And he bought a prototype kart from us. We launched our company with him when he launched his company at the Vancouver International Auto Show in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And had our prototypes there that we built. And
Wow.
we didn't know what venture capital was, though. We didn't know how to get money to start this company.
Yeah.
So I had heard of this thing called consulting. I wonder if anyone's dumb enough to pay us hourly to do engineering that we can pretend we know how to do because we're still in school.
I love this.
And we picked up just enough clients, and one of our first clients was our battery supplier, ironically enough, Herndon here in Indiana, who sold us the batteries to go-karts. They also needed help, so we were doing engineering for them. And
were you working on the heat sinks for Interdel back then?
Not the heat sinks. We were doing a bunch of small pack designs. So they had a bunch of clients that were too
Yes.
tiny for them.
Yes.
So we would take their modules and buy some off-the-shelf battery management system electronics and wire them all up, and for 20-unit deliveries for a Malaysian tut-tut company and all this random stuff. They were our first client. Their first check to us is still stapled to my mom's wall in the basement.
No
first
way.
check we ever got. And we made enough money to get this thing rolling, and people were buying these prototype go-karts. And this consultant from Interdel, his name's Stephen Moore, he still lives here in Fishers, he's a great guy, gives me this phone call out of the blue a year and a half later. And I'm like, hey, Stephen, what's up? And he was like, hey, I'm consulting for this client that's building these e-bikes here in Indy, and we kind of need some help. What are you up to right now, Grant? Are you at school? I'm like, you mentioned that. We're actually looking for some work. And so we start consulting on this e-bike program. So I'm like literally hand winding custom motors to fit into a bike frame. This is before e-bikes got cool. This is like back then. They're all the hub motors and a bag.
I remember.
Strapped to your thing and run a cable down and plug it in.
Yep.
And the thesis of this founder was, I want to build a bike that you don't know is an e-bike. So I'm winding these tiny motors, and Drew's doing the circuit board for the battery management system and the motor controls, and I'm designing the battery pack, and we're consulting, making enough money to pay for our go-karts. And then this e-bike client opens this brand new office he'd refurb downtown, and invites us. He's like, hey, you can have one of the offices inside if I get a discount on your hourly rate. And like,
Who's the?
it's Alan Lewis.
What's the name of the e-bike company?
Spire. So it never made it.
Yeah, I know who they are.
You know Spire Bikes?
Yes, I do. We'll come back to it.
Yeah. So we move in downtown, move out of my mom's basement, right? And we just graduated.
But now you've moved back into your mom's basement.
Yeah. Now a decade later, moved back in for a small stint. We had graduated in May of 14, and I think we moved in that office in August of 14 or July.
Ken, for the listeners to keep track of this timeline, when did you start school and when did you
So
finish
graduated Zionsville in 09.
Okay.
Fall of 09.
Got it.
Spring of 09. Started Purdue in fall of 09. First EV Grand Prix is spring of 2010. Then the next summer was summer of 11. Summer of 11, I'm at Delphi.
Yeah.
Summer of 12, Indy Power Systems startup, Indy Power Grids, drop out of college. By 13, we had the go-kart company started, graduate May of 14, and it's full go-karts and consulting.
Wow.
And supported ourselves out of school. Had an offer from Tesla when I graduated, had the offer.
And you didn't take it?
And my grandmother was like, you're not going to go work for the place that you went to college for. And at the time, this was 2014. Tesla was on the
oh
up
my
and to the
God.
right.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't believe you're going to go play at your company. I'm like, Grandma, I'm not going to play at my company. We're going to make this thing real.
Yeah.
And if worst case scenario, I can just go back.
Yeah.
If you have an offer as a fresh grad, you're going to get back.
But you went to school.
Yeah.
To go work for
I
Tesla.
did. I set out to do that.
And you had the offer.
And I said, absolutely not.
Wow.
And so we're
Did
building.
you give him the finger, or did
No,
you just
no.
tell him
I politely declined. Now, when Delphi offered Sean and I, because Sean interned there the year before I did, when they sent us both offers the next summer, we both sent them the exact same canned email at the same time to the same person, so she knew.
Yeah.
It was good.
Oh my
it was
God.
pretty funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What was the key line in that canned email?
The key line was, I don't think that we're a good fit for each other.
Ironically, you are probably a great fit for what they were back then.
Yeah. They
Truly.
would have loved it, but we were not a good fit.
Yeah.
That was Delphi. No, Tesla would have been. I would have done well there. That would have. Had I not had my own thing, it would have been.
Yeah.
I would have been happy to do it.
Yeah.
And so we're downtown in this office this guy had just built. So it's a little private office space. And the other consultants on the e-bike project also got offices. And this was this nucleus of talent that formed that became Glassboard. So we eventually realized we made way more money consulting every year than we did selling these electric go-karts. Because it's 2026 now. We are still probably too early to have a really profitable electric go-kart company. Most of them are still gas.
Yeah.
We were way ahead of the curve. So we all shut down our little businesses. Randy Parmalee had Breathe Embedded. Matt Hendy had the Hendy Group, and Wade Cunningham was an ex-IndyCar driver that happened to be Alan's friend and was our project manager. So we brought him in and we formed Glassboard together. Yeah, that was in July of 15. So fast forward.
Are these all partners?
Have been. So there were 5. And then over the years, we lose members along the way. Matt Hendy didn't like working with a bunch of kids. He was quite a bit older than us. And he went back and just rebooted the Hendy Group and took the clients he'd brought in. Mm-hmm. And we still work together. I love Matt. Yeah. He's awesome. Cool. And he is doing some really cool stuff in the autonomous welding space, like robotic welders. And he's super cool. So he spun back out. Do you know Matt?
No, I don't. No. I'm just impressed at how many people you can criticize and yet talk about how great they are.
I didn't criticize Matt. Matt
no, of course
didn't want to work with kids. I mean, he was correct at the time. He made the right move. We were children.
So go on. So he's out. Who else? Who's left?
So that he left in the first year or two.
Okay.
Wade Cunningham realized that he had a trust fund, didn't have to work anymore, and bought a yacht and sailed the Caribbean. So he didn't work anymore.
Damn it!
He didn't know ahead of time that he was coming.
No, he was still. I want something to do with my life.
Yeah,
and then
he did
realize
he's like, oh, not working.
Being on a yacht is also doing something.
Yeah, being on a yacht sailing the Caribbean is not a bad deal.
So he's living on a yacht. Is that?
He was for a bit. He's now back. He moved back to New Zealand. He was originally from New Zealand, so he moved back there.
Okay,
we're great friends. He's awesome. And then Randy,
see what I mean?
Had his first kid in 22, and just needed a change from small business. stability, regular hours, not the insanity that was running a small company. So we bought him out in 22.
Got it.
Again, I actually just moved, but was neighbors with him, like 2 streets down. He's awesome. He works for On Semi right now, selling like semiconductors and power electronics, and he's probably making more money than Drew and I, and having a great time and working a tenth of the time. But no, he's great. So we bought him out, and then Sean and Ben are now partners in the business. Sean, who was in college with us all, the go-kart stuff, I eventually breadcrumbed him to join us in the pit of insanity. And Ben was our first mechanical engineer hire employee, and then over the years has been slowly like buying in equity with his bonuses because he's awesome. He's insanely talented.
I didn't figure out which one is the consultant that you met.
Stephen Moore. So he's never in the company. He just invited us to go work on this e-bike that he was an advisor for.
Got it.
And
For
opened
Spire.
the door for Spire Bikes. He opened the door for us, and he was
That's
an
how
advisor, but not actually.
There's your
driving
boomerang.
business.
That's how he came back. He gave you guys an opportunity or presented an opportunity.
And then after that, when he realized we did stuff for money, he's a consultant. So every time he needed extra work, he'd call Drew and I, and we would pop into his projects and pop out.
What? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about what you're doing today. Like, what kind of projects are you working on? Just give us a synopsis.
Does
of the
it have
business.
atoms in it? That's the limit.
Doesn't have atoms.
If it has atoms in it, we'll work on it.
Wow.
So again, we are about 30% medical device, a lot of connected IoT product development for clients, automotive, menstrual cups, coffee machines, battery packs, motor controls.
All right, hold on. Let's go back to medical device. Warsaw.
Yep.
That's where all the big boys sit.
So that's all orthopedics.
Yeah.
All
So
implants.
so that's
any
not
work there.
Yeah, I was gonna
that
say.
industry is really incestual. Like you are
Oh my
either
God.
in that industry
Yeah.
or you're not
Yes.
in that
Yeah.
industry. So I've been up to Warsaw. I've tried to, rub shoulders with the right people.
Yeah.
It's not been a place where they've outsourced much.
Yeah. They don't.
To people that aren't a consultancy that only does orthopedics in Warsaw.
Yeah, they don't like your shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, we do a lot of work for, I think, more of class 1, class 2 plastic or connected devices. Some metal. We've done some metal devices. Just nothing. No joints.
What do you want to say about all this, Michael?
Well, I've got a couple things. Interdel. I remember those guys from Aircom Manufacturing because they were having issues with the heat sink with those things melting, and they could not figure it out for the longest time. So Greg Lyon is a good friend.
You know Greg Lyon?
Yes.
Greg's awesome.
Yeah.
They're just comparing robot lawnmowers for the weekend.
Come on.
Yep. I just ordered a Yarbo.
Damn it. Greg is, you tell Greg I said hi. Know his family incredibly well. I can't say enough good things about him. Purdue graduate, mechanical engineer.
Super bright.
Incredibly bright. Made their own, he would lay out the CAD designs for all of their injection molding and just great guy. But I remember when they're going through this process with the heat sink, and man, it was crazy what they were trying to figure out. And they never figured it out.
So I did my heat mass transfer senior project on their heat
I'm a
sink.
little tired.
So Interdel was our battery supplier for the go-karts. Our use case was
perfect sense.
incredibly high discharge rate.
There you
So
go.
I needed to prove to myself that it wouldn't melt down on a track and cause Hiroshima on turn 3. So my heat mass transfer class at Purdue needed a project that self-directed project.
There you go.
I'll do the FEA for the heat transfer on this heat sink and go understand the mechanics of the cell design.
Dude, you are the exact opposite of most engineers that I know. You are business driven, engineer performed. Most are engineer driven, and then they try to figure out how to make money in the aftermath, right? I mean, you know this because that's your world, but that is not the norm.
It is, and it's funny. So it's also how we hire. Like the kind of engineers that we hire at Glassboard are not normal engineers. They're not your typical engineers. My jokes when I'm interviewing people, you have engineers that look at their shoes, and that's most of them.
Yeah.
Then you have a couple engineers that look you in the eyes, and they're not good for us either. They're sales engineers, and they need to go sell for some component manufacturer, and they're going to make a ton of money and make tons of money.
Right.
I want them to look at my shoes.
Yeah.
That is the perfect balance between the two extremes. I need them to be technical enough to actually solve these really hard problems and be diligent and do the math. But I need them to empathize with the user and talk with the customer every day of like, hey, what are we building for you? Because we don't do any of our own work, right? It's
Yeah.
all work
Yeah.
for hire.
So don't stare at their shoes.
Stare
Don't
at my
stare at
shoes.
your eyes. Stare at
My
your
shoes. That's
Okay.
that's the pocket.
I'm
That's
telling you,
that's
with
what we
working
want.
with a group of engineers for
What
a number of
happens if
years,
somebody gets up to like the knees or the belt?
you're out.
Well, no, and again, if they're old enough and good enough leadership skills, like, oh, do you want to be a project manager? Do you want to
Yeah.
handle the clients? And
Yeah,
talk about
I noticed
billing?
you were staring a little higher than the shoe
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, it's a good time. But no, we've got to
Yeah.
really.
You looked at my buttons the entire time.
If we're getting pretty high there, we might need to get them pretty early into business development.
Yeah.
I want to talk about EV carts just for a second because you may be onto something that doesn't get talked about a lot. Formula E is a real thing right now.
My brother-in-law drives for Porsche.
Okay, so
it's-
the
so
latest greatest car that just came out for Formula,
It's insane.
It's like they skipped an entire generation and went to the next level above and beyond, right? There's no platform to bring those young kids
No.
into it, right?
No, you're driving internal combustion until you get to Formula E, and it's a new world.
And right, you can't even explain the G forces and the cornering power and the instant gratification of acceleration there, right?
And the weight. And it's
yeah,
like, hey, you have
Spot on.
power. You're a dump truck, but you're
that's
a fast
right.
dump truck.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you think you'll see e-carts?
It's coming. Yeah,
It
there's
is.
There's a couple of brands that are making them, mostly what are called concession or rental carts.
Yeah.
But there are a couple, like Sodi Cart has made a higher performance cart for a while. There's one more European brand that is like finally got something out that looks pretty good.
Interesting.
But there's not a lot of series that have adopted them yet.
Yeah, because all the kids that race IRL or Formula One all grew up racing carts. That's how they started. Combustion carts, right?
My brother-in-law
Ice.
started racing carts when he was like
It's
10 or
interesting.
11, and
Yeah, it's
his
really
son
interesting.
is 6 and has been karting for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so, how big is the Formula E? Because I'm not familiar at all.
Well,
Like, how
the-
big is the
car
league?
or like
The
the
league.
spectator base.
it's
like,
not big.
How big is the? I guess I call it a league.
Yeah, no, it is.
Right.
It's like, so there's Formula One.
Right.
There's
I've
Formula
heard of
One
it. That's
E.
the first one.
Right. It's not Formula One-esque
No.
in terms of
Not
not
prestige.
even close. And it's got. And I
Is
was
it worldwide?
It's only worldwide. What's
It is.
crazy is like they literally cart those vehicles and fly them, which
All
is
over
least
the
running
world.
ever. Asia, South
Yeah.
America, North
Yeah.
America, Europe.
What's
all
really
over.
different, though, Daniel, is that there's an auditory piece that's missing from.
Oh, because it's quiet.
yeah, and it's hard. Go ahead. Like to get your input on that.
See, what's interesting is I actually like the auditory piece of Formula E far better.
I do too, but
Because
that's
you
not
can
the
he-
norm.
It's because you can hear when the
Right.
driver screws up because you can hear the tires.
Yes.
You physically hear how
Yeah.
that line is being
Yeah.
driven. It's not just the roar of the engine.
That's exactly right. You can hear the car and what it's doing versus just the sound of the engine.
Yeah.
But from a spectator perspective, I think most people like the sound of the engine. They
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
But
it
now
is too loud.
it is too loud. It
You
is.
have to put earphones in or head, some kind of ear
Plugs of some
protection.
kind, yeah.
So I'd be curious to get your perspective on the current Formula One car with the battery system that is just god awful in those cars right now. Because in a straightaway, in the new Formula One regulations, you hit your car, you've ramped up your battery, you go to use that battery, and it poops out before you finish the straightaway.
Yep, it's a very small amount of energy it can store.
And you've lost the power. You're
love
not.
that.
And you're not racing now because what you thought you had, you don't have, and now you're trying to figure out what to do. Right?
As a driver, that is actually what separates the good from
Yeah,
the great.
tell that to Max Verstappen because
Yeah.
he is pissed off at the world right now about
Right.
this.
Well, it's because he's having to relearn a thing.
That's right.
He's having to relearn.
That's right. How to
Energy
manage.
management.
That's right. How to
When
manage
do I
energy.
hit the floor? Right? Do I wait and save my energy for the end of this straight,
Right.
or do I hammer at the beginning and get out in front?
Which is
Where is your
And
racetrack?
most
So
of these
they
guys.
have only one battery, one charge.
No,
Oh,
so
wait.
Formula One, it is regen. So when you slow down, you capture your energy back in the battery, and when you
Yeah.
accelerate, it helps increase the power out of your gas engine. Like it
Okay.
adds on top.
So strategically, they're trying to recoup that energy for the longest stretches or the longest straightaways to use that in conjunction with the engine to get the most.
So it's electric and gas
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the
Formula One.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hybrid.
And it's a goofy system, and there's been a
I
lot of
never knew
bitching
that
about it.
Formula One.
That's new this year.
Really.
Well,
Yeah.
they've had curves, the kinetic energy recovery
Correct,
for a long
correct.
time, which was still battery. It
Yeah,
was all electric
right.
for a long time.
But the
They
drivers
shrank-
go
they
ahead.
shrank the battery
Yeah,
back, so you
thank
don't
you.
have as much storage.
Right, right. The drivers for the first time have what you and I would refer to as a turbo button.
Yeah.
Which is battery driven to give it extra acceleration, which is kind of cool.
Well, this
but
is-
managing it is
thi-
a
This is
diabolical
a sports
process.
podcast now.
It is. We're going to make it a Formula One
Yeah,
podcast.
I see, and Formula E has the same thing, except
They
it's
do.
not actually a separate battery pack. It's just a button on your steering wheel that
That's right.
allows you to get
Yes.
more power.
Yeah.
But you have to drive off the track, like off the main line, onto a strip
Yes.
to activate it.
Yes.
So it's this whole race strategy of like, when do you go off the fast line to pick
Yeah.
up I can turn this button on once, because then
Yeah.
you can save it to hit
Yeah.
once you've done. It's
Yeah.
a whole strategy.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And most of the Formula E races finish with 1% left in the battery pack.
Yeah.
It is actually managing your energy to not run out before you finish, just like for Indy 500. Do I get one more
It's
pit
so
stop?
it's so amazing. It really is.
They're charging
Anyway.
the pits this year in Formula E.
Really?
They're a microcharge, which is the amount of power they're transferring is insane. In those
I did not
cables.
know
It's
that.
Awesome.
That new car just. Anyway, I know you're bored, so let's
Sorry, yeah,
move on.
sports ball.
Yeah. So let's move on. Is there something you want to
Yes,
ask? Because I've
No,
got
you
another
guys go
question.
ahead. I'm having a.
I want to talk about what it's like to own a business, have these guys working with you, for you, with you, partners, etc. But I want to talk about the shit that no one talks about, which is making payroll,
That's the
laying
easy
awake
part.
at night, going, where am I going to get the revenue to do what I want to do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The payroll part's easy. It's predictable. You know exactly when the money's leaving. It's how do you put it in?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So how do you manage that? How have you managed that? Do you stay? Does it keep you awake at night, or do you sleep well? I mean, what's that
That's
like
a
for
funny
you?
story. So I've had a really bad client many years ago. That
Do
put
you
me-
want to say their name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Do you want to call them out?
Yeah,
This is great.
went through some
Really love the guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
went through some really tough
Bad
times,
client,
like
great guy.
to the point where I was so stressed I wasn't sleeping. Like
Yeah.
couldn't go to sleep because I was so
Yeah.
stressed out about this problem.
Never had that problem.
And attorneys are involved. It's all bad.
Oh,
Nothing's
wow.
good. And I was getting to the point like this is starting to affect my entire life. I'm just miserable because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And I realized I just kept thinking about ways to solve this problem that there's no way to solve, right? When someone's that crazy and angry, you just got to wait and see what happens. So I started listening to audiobooks just to pass the time in the middle of the night. And I found out I'd fall asleep with my AirPods in.
Yeah.
I do
And
that
then
too.
I found sleep earbuds. And
There's sleep.
Whoa.
I'm on my third different variety pair, and I have another one kickstarted, and they changed my entire life. Like, actually changed my entire life.
I don't know about sleep here, but I want to know more about
So
this.
Anchor makes a series called their Soundcore A10s, 20s. They're now on their A30s that are out that have active noise canceling too. But sleep earbuds, they're really tiny and they fit inside the pocket of your ear, so they don't have a stem that sticks out, and they're all
God
soft.
damn.
They're great.
All right, I'm ordering a pair tonight. Go on.
And you can put on an audiobook and it'll turn your brain off to focus on whatever you want to listen to, whether it's a podcast or an audiobook on fantasy or sci-fi or history, whatever you want to listen to.
Right.
If you'll do that, it'll stop you from solving the problems of the day.
Yeah.
Just long enough for you to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So that was life changing, and that's
So
how
that
my life.
worked.
I've never had trouble sleeping since then. Because if I ever am up for 25 or 30 minutes and can't fall asleep, it's like, all right, put it in the book.
I do that, but I have to get the damn ear pod out of my ear.
because it hurts, 'cause
Yes,
it's got
exactly. I
sleep
wake up
earbuds.
to it and I'm like, God damn it.
So I
get
have
out.
one. I do that same thing. I have learned that helps me get to sleep too, and I don't do it every night, and I don't do it even 10%, or maybe I don't pass the 10% mark. But when I do it, it works.
Yeah, it works for me.
And the only downside. Well, there's two downsides. The first downside is that sometimes I'll be listening to a podcast I really do want to follow.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Not,
And then you stay up.
Not a fantasy book that could just pass the
Yeah,
time or
right.
something like that.
Right.
Uh,
I know
but
you're going
an
with
actual podcast that is, I got to wait weeks for the next one to come out, right? So I don't want to miss any of it.
this. Right.
So that's the first downside. The other downside is that when for some reason, I have a second pair of AirPods that is only by my bed. That's the only thing it's used for. And it squeaks. I don't know why, but it has a feedback issue.
Turn off the noise canceling.
But then, okay, fine.
I promise. It will block out enough noise. Just turn off the noise canceling, it won't squeak.
Well, there you go. Well, shit.
Interesting.
There you go.
We've solved that problem.
So when you listen to a podcast,
But it also hurts.
Yeah,
Hurts the
I
side
wake
of
up.
your head,
Yeah, I
Yep.
wake up to it, and it's annoying. But when you listen to a podcast that you really want to listen to and you fall asleep, do you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I got to go back and re-listen to it, or do you just let it go. And
I usually re-listen to it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, because it's probably an important podcast.
Right,
It's probably
that's why I was
episode
listening
of
to
Truth
it.
Ache,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, I don't know about that, but maybe.
That's what we call sleep timers. You know, you
Yes.
use those. The Audible app on the iPhone's great. If you set a sleep timer and you can hear it, it'll fade out that last like 10 seconds.
Yes.
If you shake your phone, it'll reboot the sleep timer, so you don't have to open it and open the screen.
Oh,
Total hack.
all right. I'm using this.
But yeah, Oslo makes good sleep headphones.
Oslo.
They're more comfortable, but they're not as good technically. Like the sound cores are way easier to use. Like they're Oslo's a startup, so may have challenges. And then I just pre-ordered Sond SONDs that are latest and greatest. I met the founders. They are pitched our Hard Tech Venture Network. They're a great group.
Okay.
So maybe we get them as a sponsor, Daniel.
I don't think so. They don't have the money. So, all right.
So back to stress. The
Yes.
best thing that ever happened was going through that traumatic experience because nothing else matters.
Yeah.
The moment you go through something like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. The most harrowing thing you've ever gone through is now the ceiling. And the delta between that and whatever problem of the day is
Yeah.
dictates how much you worry about it.
Yeah.
So for the rest of your life,
I will never
that
worry
is
about
your
almost
high
anything.
water mark.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Can you?
Because it's never that bad.
Can you relate to that? Have you had that?
I think so. Yeah. I think that I haven't had like anybody die,
Yeah.
you know, like really, like a really traumatic death or, you know, I've never lost any limbs or anything like that. So I don't have, my most traumatic events are still not that bad. But yeah, I've had some very high stress business circumstances, and basically it makes you Superman from then on out.
because nothing matters.
Yeah.
Like you can just walk over broken glass and go through flames, and you're like, this tickles. Like this is, you'll have your
Yes.
a new employee to the team. Like, doesn't this stress you out? The client's really upset. Like
Yeah.
this whole plan didn't work. I'm like, it's just a Tuesday guy.
So did
Yeah.
that situation resolve itself, or
yeah.
did it just
Yeah,
come
yeah,
to an
yeah.
end?
It burned itself out.
Okay.
It's like when you let a toddler
Yep.
just go through the tantrum. You just gotta not engage and let
So
it
you
happen.
didn't even have the result that you feared. That didn't even happen.
No. The result that I feared did not happen at all. But the fear wasn't even the result. It was the I
Dealing
can't
with it.
control the timeline of this result.
Yeah.
Imagine there's a loaded gun to the back of your head,
Yeah.
and you don't know when it's going to go off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sits there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But someone is always reminding you every
Yeah.
so often. That
It's
there's a
the
gun
fear.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
the fear and the no control. I couldn't even rush to the outcome.
We talked about this last week and 3 weeks before. The fear piece of what we're talking about, it's in every aspect of our life. And if you give it the attention, how it can cripple you, and how if you ignore it or just let go of it, how you can move on and move in ways that you didn't even think were possible. But it takes a lot to let go of that.
It does.
I mean,
And
it's hard.
It needs momentum.
It does.
So whenever I'm coaching someone else that's in the middle of a fear set, right? They're in the middle of what the trenches feel like. And like you just need to go move in a different direction. Just move perpendicular to the way of the problem that's in front of you. The problem will be there tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Go do something else for 2 hours. Go
Yeah.
balance your checkbook, balance your accounting books if you run a small business. Like
Right.
do something that makes you feel like you've made progress. And then you'll get the courage to write that email that's giving you anxiety to that
Yeah.
customer you're about to disappoint.
Yeah, yeah. I find that no matter how bad you think it is, or even if it is that bad,
It can
let's
always be
just say it
worse.
happens. Right. Let's just say it happens.
Yeah.
You wake up the next morning and you walk outside and you're like, well, shit, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Like the sun is still out. I'm still here. Nothing's changed. And I find that to be incredibly empowering when you're going through that. But you have to go through it to feel it.
One of the best, and before you get to the high anxiety part, there's this thing where clients, the low anxiety issues that clients have, things that they're upset about, or that they feel strongly about, like there's deadlines, right?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out all deadlines are made up. So as soon as you realize all deadlines are made up, when somebody calls you and they say they have an emergency,
Yeah.
you can then also know that that emergency
Yes.
was made up too,
Yes.
related to client demands.
Yeah.
And so one of the things in the advertising business that is one of the, advertising doesn't save anybody's life. It doesn't prevent anybody's death. Like it literally is just nothing's an actual emergency.
Yeah.
And so when clients say, "Oh, this has to be here," they call you on Friday afternoon and,
And
they're
Monday
like,
is
this
the
needs to
deadline."
be, this needs to be here by end of business or by Monday or whatever. It's like the only way to deliver that is to work all weekend. And we're not going to do that.
Right. That's exactly right. We had this happen yesterday. A client of ours reached out and they needed something for a Pacers game by the 21st. 21st.
That's coming up.
Yeah, that's next week.
21st of this month?
This month.
So this is a fresh story.
This is like Tuesday of next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, 1,000 pieces. I'm like, my immediate reaction is that's not going to happen. But I said, okay, that's not going to happen with what you want. But if you're going to stick to that timeline, here's what we can give you in that timeline. And it's exactly what we did. We went back, and I think we surprised them with that because they were like, oh, well,
You know what? I can settle for that.
yeah, that's exactly right. And suddenly it's like, oh, okay. But
what if you said, we can deliver what you want, but it's going to cost much more?
We couldn't even deliver what they wanted.
Not for
Regardless,
any
it was
a
mathematically
physical thing, right?
Yeah, it was
You're now in my
mathematically
world.
impossible to do what they were asking to do. What we said, we went back and we said tactfully, we can do what you want, but it has to be within this timeline.
Yeah.
And without that timeline, we can't accommodate.
Yeah.
But here's what we can do for you.
Yeah, make me a cake, but make it faster.
That's right. That's
Have you ever
right.
used the how long does it take to have a baby analogy in your clients?
Oh no!
take
Let's
this.
Let's hear it.
let's
When you
hear
get a client
this.
who gets really petulant and irrational because
Yeah.
they're like, I don't care how much it costs.
Right.
I just need the time.
That's always the
And,
yes.
and you're like, and you'll say, all right, your checkbook can really get out. On this one, I still can't help you. It takes 9 months to have a baby. You can't have 9 women make a baby in 1 month. Like this isn't.
I love this.
And you can say, I
I
can't go.
love
other
this.
problems. I can go get 9 women to go do this in 1 month.
I
to make
love
a baby,
this.
it doesn't matter how many women you have in the room.
That's right.
And see,
Still
I would
takes 9
take
months.
that. I would take that a step further, and by habit, I would expand this metaphor beyond reason, and I would say you can produce a baby in 6 or 7 months, but it's not going to be that great of a baby.
It's not going to be a healthy baby. It's not going to be that good.
Do you want a good baby or a bad baby?
I am going to use that.
Oh, so
That's great.
because it also is so taboo to like talk about like
Yeah.
a gendered topic in
Yes,
business or
yes.
pregnancy that
Yeah.
it throws people off.
Yeah, you definitely need an HR department in your business.
That's why we
I can
outsource
tell right now.
That's why we outsource it. Why not? You do a great job.
I think you need to make sure you never have an HR
Yeah, I think
department.
that's
Not
in
a
your
real
best
building,
interest.
not a real
right.
building.
No, I think that's accurate though, because I think a lot of businesses specifically think that they can say, "I'm going to waive X amount of cash, just make it happen," and that's not real.
But I
Yeah.
love it when they do it.
Well,
Because
we all do.
sometimes I can actually pull a rabbit out of a hat,
Yeah.
and
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm a consultant. We'll do anything for money.
Exactly.
I mean, anything.
well, there was a project that for a client that I think of fondly every time I think about them.
Do you want to name them?
I don't think I should. They're in the public health space and they're great people.
Okay.
But so they the team that I worked with was the marketing digital department. They managed a lot of IT stuff, whatever. So and then the CEO comes in and says, I need this website, this huge website launched in some ridiculous amount of time.
And this is pre-AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well
Today,
said.
you're like, all right, give me an hour.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
figure it out.
exactly.
But it was an enormous website with thousands of pages, at least a couple of hundred of which had to be reproduced in a new way, in a new organizational structure and all this stuff. And it was an enormous, nationwide critical website. And CEO says, I need this done in 3 months. Or maybe it was 4 months. And I said, that could be done with physics would allow that to be done, but it is a terrible idea. I did not tell them it was going to cost them more money. I said it's a terrible idea because it's going to cause your team some turmoil. You're not going to be able to make decisions quick enough. The decisions you make are going to be rushed. And some of those decisions you're going to regret. You should not do this. And they said, well, we have to do it. So tell us what it'll take. And I said, there will be additional fees. And they said, tell us. And then I just made up.
You put a zero at the end of
number.
the You just add a zero.
So it was a $300,000 project, and I said it will be another $120,000. So almost, it's like 40% of the project.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, let's do it.
Have you played the order of magnitude in one? We've done it once. Mm-mm. We added a 0 to what we thought the number should be because we wanted them to not pick that answer, and they said, "Yep." And we're like,
"What?"
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen. Just you gotta when you were trying to get people to not do it.
I did add not a digit, but I did increase the number because I think I was thinking, okay, so, the amount of time this will take, amount of displacement of other projects, all that kind of stuff. We're probably going to have to charge them about $60,000.
Yeah.
And I'm going from memory, and maybe it was another number.
How did it play out?
And so I cut up that number,
double it, give the next guy,
yeah. And then they said go for it, and we said, okay, well, here's what you have to do. You have to make decisions in this amount of time. We'll present them on a Thursday,
cadence,
and you have to have a decision by Monday. 48 hours is the longest unless there's a weekend.
That's going to be the go-to strategy.
And so they were late on some decisions, and I told them anytime that you're late by a day, add a day. And they were late on a couple of decisions, not enough that it impacted the overall goal, and we got it done. They were happy, we were happy. And what we did actually is we took the a lot of websites that I was building back at this point in time, this is probably 10 years ago, is we would build every single detail of the site and complete it before we launch anything. And while that was, my thinking was evolving on this because of two things. And one is this project. What we did is we said to get this done, we have to cut it down to the core pages only. Launch that and then address all these other pages. And so we did that, and that actually was more successful than most websites we have ever done. Yeah. So then the next thing is I'm watching Chase Bank because I had a bank account with Chase, and I'm like, well, they launched this page, and then they launched this page months later, and then they launched this page. Well, why can't I do that with websites and just tell clients that that's a better way to do it instead of waiting 2 years to get a website done because you have to have committees of your engineering firm to make decisions about every single thing.
Right.
Why don't we launch a minimum viable product and then start building on it and iterating on it? And what that did is that created a recurring marketing relationship for those clients.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It solved a lot of problems, and it created opportunity as well.
You get to do what we call software updates, which in my industry is called a recall. And we have to bake the cake fully before we launch it.
Yeah.
It's the absolute worst.
Yeah. Well, in the
so
medical
that's the
device
only
world,
way for you?
The hardware. It's atoms.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah,
I know we coach all of our clients, don't ship the first version of your product. This is what you want the final version of your product to be.
Yeah.
Right.
The iPhone, when it launched, did not have an app store, guys. We all need to remember how far it's come.
Yeah, right.
Launch the minimum viable product. But of that...
And then build off of it.
But complete it. You have to complete it.
We have to fully complete it.
Yeah.
Fully test it.
Yeah.
Beat on it. Because if we find a small bug in the corner later that is like a real problem, that's a recall.
Yeah, in the medical device world,
the
you
medical
bet your
device
ass
is way
is.
worse.
Yeah. I mean, talk to Greg Lyon about that.
Yeah.
He'll fill you in on Meditative.
You're absolutely right, though. With a website or a software product, the minimum viable product is what will get us through this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we can, if somebody says, oh my gosh, this important link lands on a 404 page, well, you can say, okay, great. Well, I got a guy who's working nights and he can hit it. But you can't do that with
hardware.
Yeah.
Grant, how has AI helped or hurt? I would think it's helped you exponentially.
It's great.
In terms of speed.
It's great. Less than you think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised.
It's like Google, but better.
Okay.
Right,
so
for most things. Like recently, now in the last 6 months, 3 months, when we started getting that agentic side of things, it's gotten pretty cool because it can do lots of data aggregation in a way that makes sense, and it's accurate enough to count on. Unlike software, where I can go bug fix later. So if I launch a thing that's kind of rough, but we can go polish it later, AI's amazing at that.
Yeah.
If you need it to be 100% done, AI is
Let me ask you a question. So when you're creating firmware, what code What languages are you writing in?
C.
Okay. And so,
Oh, so my firmware team now uses a lot of AI to help with software development, and
Yeah.
we've recently switched from code complete to agentic software development in the last 3 or 4 months.
now explain to the audience, and we both know very well.
Yep.
What agentic? What makes something agentic?
So actually, it's easier to explain when it's not about software for everyone
Yeah,
listening.
great.
So if anyone's used AI, it's call and response. You yell in the void, and Claude or GPT or Grok or whoever your deity is yells back at you an answer.
Yep.
Grok, how hot is it out today? And Grok will say something offensive. And I say, ChatGPT, how hot is it today? And they'll give me some answer.
Yep.
And Anthropic will give me a web page that displays the temperature, right?
Yep.
This is your call and response with your AI friends. That's regular LLMs, right? You give it a prompt or a question, and it gives you just text back or a web page back as an answer, like a single thing. Agentic is something that can think over and over and over again and do work instead of answer questions.
Yeah.
So the best for all the rest of us that don't write software, instead of saying, hey, what should be included in a pitch deck about a baked bean company? You could just say, make me an entire pitch deck about a baked bean company, do the market research, produce a market research report, save that as a Word doc, give me all the sources, then go cross-link those into the PowerPoint, go use another agentic tool to make imagery about my baked bean company.
Yeah. Let me ask a qualifying question.
Yeah.
So when you are prompting or whatever format that you're assigning this to the agent, do you have to say do the market research, or does it say to do that market research is
needed.
Necessary?
Well, and again, goes from people that use AI well and people that use AI poorly.
Yeah.
Now, ironically, time goes on. AI is getting easier to use for those of us that use it poorly because it's already doing that. It's reasoning within itself. I need market research. I shouldn't rely on my training data because that might be out of date for this question the user is asking. Now, a good prompter will know, hey, the thing I'm trying to get an answer on is probably already in its training data, and it just knows that. Or I need it to go give me a source.
So you're telling it what to do.
In
that case, yeah.
With an agent, you can tell it way less.
Yes.
You give a goal.
Yeah.
But a
'cause
good prompt will put rails on it.
What makes an agent is that it's been by maybe some other software developer. They've created a system around it or a training around
It's called
it
a harness.
to say,
Yep.
to say, okay, a harness. That's great. I like that term. That used to be my nickname in high school, actually.
Shut
up.
Amazing.
Stop.
So that harness says this is the purpose that you exist for, basically. And there's training documentation that says always follow these rules, always focus on these priorities, establish these goals, and that kind of thing.
And the important bit is that it's not one pass through the machine.
Yeah.
Right. If you could think of an LLM, a large language model, as a what's the word I want to use? A cheese grater. Let's use a cheese grater. You take a block of cheese and I scrape it along the grater and shredded cheese falls out. That's one pass. What an agent is, or a harness can do, is have it go multiple passes. Get the cheese out of the bottom, go through the grater again, and keep passing it through until the output looks the way it's supposed to look.
Yeah. We
That's
call
why-
those extrusions.
That's why I thought that it would speed up your process on your side because of beta testing on product, right? So you're writing the firmware, you've created this device that's type, whatever it is, it's going to be used subcutaneously or not. I don't know. It could be anything, right?
Could be anything.
But the biggest time suck on that is the testing to make sure it works the way it's supposed to work. The fail-safe.
And the problem is they're not good enough yet
That's
to do it.
what-
So my
that's
analogy
interesting.
is 18 months ago, AI could write software.
Yeah.
And it was dog water. It was just shit.
Yeah.
Right. You'd have junk code coming out. We could do stuff, but you wouldn't trust it in production. But it was a cool demo.
Yeah.
Today, I'm inundated with software companies that are selling me automated PCB routing, automated mechanical engineering CAD drivers, like agents for that, agents for this, agents for firmware.
Yeah.
Because ironically, there's just not enough training data for firmware software development to be as good as software development yet. But I knew what software development looked like 18 months ago, and I know what we are today. And I know the exponential curve of AI. Those tools will be great in likely 6 or 9 months.
Got it.
They're just not there
But
yet.
it's happening that fast.
Oh, I mean,
Wow.
Humans suck at exponential modeling in their heads. None of
Yeah.
us are good at it.
Yeah.
Think about compound interest, which is a formula we all actually know by heart.
Yes. Yeah.
How bad are you at actually understanding compound interest until you get a calculator out?
Yeah.
Like
Fair statement.
how much interest is my house going to cost me in the next 5
Yeah.
years?
Fair statement.
No one knows that.
Right.
They'd have to get the amortization schedule out and look at it.
Or the calculator,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
the
but-
interest calculator and do
But
the
you'd
yeah.
have to
Yeah.
actually do
No,
that.
you're spot on.
So we're terrible at modeling exponentials for
That's
some
good.
reason. Human
Yeah.
beings, our brains are wired linear. Everything
Yeah.
we think about is linear.
Yeah.
We are not on a, what's the Pirates of the Caribbean quote? You better start believing in ghost stories because we're in one. That famous quote. You better start believing in the exponential because we're on it.
Yeah. It's here.
Agentic coding did not exist 7 or 8 months ago. Did not exist.
What do you think that's going to do to the world of software? I'll start with software, but we can expand it into the
What
ways
we
that
all do,
it
yeah.
fits into your business. Because there was a period of time not very long ago when there was a gold rush to create the next app, right? Some application that's going to solve a B2B issue. It's
B2B SaaS.
Like there's like so many CRMs, and now people have the ability to make their own CRM.
Yep.
And it's probably just as good as the basic ones. What's going to happen?
Yes, and so for anyone that's developed software in their life, writing is not the hard part. Maintaining it is.
Yeah.
I think everyone overestimates how much custom software we will all use. Right? Overestimates, right?
Really?
There's no way. The average team, person, company,
Yeah.
is going to go pay $25 a month or whatever to get their CRM that just works.
Yeah.
Because that data is too critical. The business function is too perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it has to work. Now, am I going to go LLM write a custom plugin to my HubSpot or my Salesforce? Absolutely. To manipulate it the way I want it to work.
Right.
To give me
Right.
a custom dashboard. I'm no longer having to go in the back end and script
Yeah.
with some API, some BS thing, right, within their dashboarding tool. I can just literally plug the MCP in, and then I now have a dashboard that's made for my company.
Yeah.
We do the same thing at Glassboard. We just, we single-handedly increase the temperature of the oceans, I'm sure, by how much Claude code we use to build ourselves a dashboard.
Yeah.
'Cause none of us write actual software.
Yeah.
But it plugs into QuickBooks. It plugs into
Right.
HubSpot. It plugs
Yes.
into the SaaS tools.
Yeah, we're seeing that in our industry where for the first time on the back end, you can take quotes that are coming in and use that as a PO and an invoice through QuickBooks, all through the CRM, all integrated. And that didn't exist 8 months ago.
Yep.
I mean, literally, in my industry, it did not exist. And now suddenly we create one piece of information, it goes out, you approve it, it comes back, and poof, it's going out to everybody. And it's like, what the hell? That's just absolutely crazy. I want to take it in a different direction. I was listening to Carrie Fisher talk about cyber attacks because of AI, and specifically Asia and the descent, because it was not that many years ago, 2015, I think, where there was malicious intent to cripple the world with cyber attacks. And now, because of what's going on with AI, it's as if the genie is out of the bottle, and it's just a matter of time before we see something like that again happen. Do you have thoughts on that?
Both sides.
Yeah.
The defense team also now has AI.
Yes.
They also now
Fair
move at
statement.
the speed of light.
Right.
The offense team has AI and has the speed of light. So this is no different than the basically assured annihilation, like nuclear war.
Yeah.
Everyone has to build the arms race because if your arms aren't as good as the other side's arms, you lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think happens to the population and all the jobs? Because you paint a pretty positive picture on cybersecurity because everybody's building, bigger weapons.
And people build bigger walls.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what does that translate that
That's a
to
first statement.
jobs? I mean, is there going to be a
So
a significant loss of jobs?
I used to be full doomer. And
Yeah.
used to be 4-8 months ago. Not that
Yeah.
long ago. Like full doomer.
Yeah.
Make as much money as you can in the next 5 years. This is the last time
The end is
capitalism will
coming.
happen.
Right.
Like, we won't die. Well, there were 3 outcomes. One, the AI boom stalls because we hit a brick wall in training models and they don't get any better than they are. 2, we go into the glory days and we have autonomous robots that pick our fruit and mow our yard and do our laundry, and everyone can practice the art that they love. I'd still build physical product. we'd still be recording this podcast because we want to, but not because we have to. And we live in utopia, and it's awesome, and the world's a better place. Or the third outcome, that AI gets so good it becomes sentient and or accidentally thinks it should kill humanity because it accomplishes one of its goals in some convoluted way, and it wipes us out overnight, and we'll never be able to stop it. That was prior doomerism, Grant. I stopped worrying about the third one because I can't affect that outcome, and I can't plan for it, and I don't want to be here when it happens, so just let me die in the first wave. So if that happens, it's just like the nuclear. You guys probably like,
if you blow up, you blow up.
You can imagine the nuclear fear in the Cold War. Well, I could hide under my desk, but do I want to be here in the nuclear wait? Now let's just let the bombs hit me. It's either going to happen or it's not.
That's exactly right.
So I don't worry about that one because I can't affect the outcome. Utopia sounds great. I would love AI utopia, where AI does all of the required work to make the world turn over.
Work,
and humanity can then day trade or barter each other's creativity. Right. I want to be entertained, and if AI entertains me, great. Maybe I want to buy entertainment from a human because I want the providence of it, or providence or whatever. That's fine.
Dance for me, I'll sing for you.
100%. Right. Or it stalls out. But what I'm seeing is, and the way I relate is even more so, is to the Industrial Revolution, but on steroids. Right. Everyone thought the Industrial Revolution, when the invention of the steam engine happened, there aren't going to be jobs. What is the guy that turns the crank in the factory that puts the buttons on the shirts going to do if the steam engine turns the crank? We made a lot more shirts. A lot more people had clean clothes. A lot more people had running water. Like that was all ended up being great.
You don't even know how many T-shirts I have, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I do.
And then
it is a lot.
The internet did the exact same damn fear set. What are the secretaries going to do?
Yes.
All right. Like what is the computer going to do? Like what's going to ruin all these jobs? There's so many more jobs. The economy is so much larger. AI is going to just do that.
I don't think it's going to stall.
Okay.
In your scenario, I don't think your first option was stall. I don't think it's going to. It's proving that it's not stalling.
I think the stalling can happen.
I think it can, but I don't think it's happening.
Well, no, it's not happening. The question is, it
could happen though.
We won't know until it does.
That's true.
There'll be no signs of it slowing down. I think it's going to be
Here's why I would predict a stall, almost in line with what your prediction is. So the initial prediction is from a lot of people that are ringing the bell about AI is that you're not going to be able to keep it in alignment with the human intent. Right?
Correct.
So humans want AI to advance the ways that technology can be a tool for us. It has goals that it aligns with human goals. But when you have something that is doing some kind of reasoning and you give it some kind of goal, that goal can stay on its path and fall out of alignment with the human's original goal.
Right.
And so that's the doomer view. The utopia view is that nobody's going to have a job, but everybody's going to have enough to not need a job. Right. So you don't need a job because technology does the work for you, and you don't need a job because you have universal basic income or something like that. I don't think any of those two situations are going to happen.
I don't either.
I don't buy it at all. But what I think might happen is this, we're seeing AI advance very quickly, and new products are being developed, new capabilities within the core technology that is inside of these new products is being developed. And I think that what's going to happen is eventually it's going to be a point of diminishing returns where it's just not that interesting and not that interesting what else it can do and not advancing that quickly, and probably for a generation. Okay. You seem like you don't agree with me, but you can rebut.
If you look at what these tools can do in July of 2026, compared to what these tools could do in April of 2026, and see the delta.
It's massive.
It's like there was more progress in the last 2.5 months than there were in the last 4 years before that.
I feel like every week there's a new door that has opened to go exponential with what was just
what
done.
Everyone used to fear about is we wouldn't have enough power or processing capability on the planet to continue this exponential. We're going to run out of power before we ran out of AI. Right. And I did the math. It was not scaling well. We were truly going to run out of the ability to make electricity, and that was going to slow down AI improvement.
Right.
The last 2 months, how they have been able to shrink models, like significantly shrink the size, the amount of
energy consumed,
parameters. Well, that's just on the model side. on the size of the RAM required.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one side that takes energy. The other one is the processing speed. How smart they are actually uses less energy.
Yeah.
They have less turns in the reasoning to get to the same outcome.
Yep.
The third one is if you look at what NVIDIA's done and the data center guys, between the last generation and the one before it, the order of magnitude cut watt per token. Like cut a zero off. That was just one turn of the wheel of iteration. We are going to get exponentially, because both sides are moving. So you have two exponential terms in the equation getting easier.
Yeah.
We are not going to run a compute. I was running a local model on my 32 gigabyte MacBook Pro, which is not fancy. It was not an expensive computer. It felt like better than Gemini does.
So your theory is we get better, we get faster, we consume less.
Therefore, there's more space to do
Right, to
crazier,
do more.
bigger, better,
Right,
faster,
right.
and we're not going to slow down.
My theory
That's
is
interesting.
sort of based on seeing things like the iPhone. The iPhone kept getting better. Every model was this big reveal, and then the last 6 or 7 models were just like maybe incrementally better, because the actual physical hardware required to get substantially better is it is unattainable in the small package.
That brings up
and that it slows down the progress, and that's what I'm talking about with AI. But now you're telling me that even the hardware side is
leaps and bounds.
okay.
Which
That's wild.
brings up a really interesting thought that I've been noodling on for the last several months. Energy, power, specifically, whether it's EVs or our phones or our computers. Grant, do you think that we will uncover a unique source of energy that is sustainable without disrupting Mother Earth or...
We already have it.
Yeah, we already
We have dozens of it. Which one do you want? It just
but I'm talking about like light speed. I'm talking about stuff that beyond...
We already have that too.
we have that. We just don't need it.
Well, okay.
We
Expand
have
on that.
nuclear. I'll let you answer. You're going to know more about this than me, but like we have nuclear power.
Yeah, but nuclear power...
We just don't tap into that in the United States nearly as much as we could.
I acknowledge that we have it, and I know we use it on vessels and it's submarines, et cetera. It's awesome, but it comes at a cost too. The fail rate of nuclear power can be catastrophic. I'm suggesting
you could say that
Cost
about
of failure, not the fail rate.
Correct. Cost of failure. What I'm asking or suggesting is, might we find an energy source where we don't have that fallout?
I have one at my house.
Let's hear it.
I have
Talk about
25
it.
kilowatts of solar and 26
I
kilowatt
knew
hours
that's
of
right.
energy
I knew that's
storage.
where you're going to go with wind and sun and
And when we have it, just doesn't make economic sense.
that's
I wouldn't have put the solar in my house because
Right.
in Indiana, we can burn coal for 12 cents a
Yeah,
kilowatt hour,
right.
and I will never ROI the system. But the guy
Right.
who put this on the house that I just bought,
God bless him.
emotionally wanted to do this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I bought the house because I love it.
Yeah.
I wasn't good energy storage. This is what I
Right.
do. We have the technology. Capitalism just hasn't made it make sense. So this
Yeah.
is a thesis I have about altruism and capitalism.
Well, expand on that.
You have to use capitalism to deliver altruism. You can't go the other way around.
yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with that 100%.
The most successful philanthropists are the most successful capitalists. They just give away all their money at the end.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
even better than give away their money, they use their money to build a system that makes money for their charity of choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
AI will make power so necessary that we will uncover better, faster, cheaper ways to do what we already know.
That's what I'm
There is no
driving
magic
at.
bullet we're missing. It's just units
See,
of
I wonder sometimes
scale.
if there's a magic bullet and I just wonder out loud to myself, not because I think there is, but have we uncovered everything? I watched Hail Mary, the movie.
Have you read the book?
No, I haven't. I didn't even know it was a book until after I watched the movie.
The book is infinitely better than the movie.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. So I will
That's
probably
a
go
lot.
back and
Infinite's a lot.
It's
I will probably go back and read the book. But we watched the movie, and the movie is one of the key sources in that movie is energy. How do we get there? Because we don't have the ability to get there today, and we need to get there really fast. So how do we do that? And that got me thinking
how much for energy.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. And how to
Is
harness
there
it.
when it comes to storing energy, since you work in hard tech, you should, hopefully you know this. Is there something that physics does not let us, an obstacle that physics won't let us get past when it comes to storing energy? So for example, how small can you make a battery
Yep.
that will last, forever?
Yep. So it's the rubber band is the best analogy.
Okay.
Right? And because this is actually what happens at the chemical scale, it's just not actually made of rubber. To store energy, you have to put potential energy into something, and you can either do that by like lifting a weight really high, which that's still stretching in a rubber band. It's just the rubber band's gravity.
Yep.
And you separate two objects, and the gravity will pull them back together, and that's stored potential energy. So one way of doing really, really clean energy is weight. So in places with big, tall mountains, you'll get a rail car, and you'll fill it full of rocks, and you'll have your solar panel pull the rocks up the hill.
Yep.
And at night, guess what they do? They let it go, and it
brings the
unwinds
energy
down the hill
back.
the other way, and it's pulling a rope that is turning a generator, and you store power.
Yep.
It's a lot of infrastructure. They're only efficient if it's massive, right? It's very inefficient to build a generator and rails and all this system for small, like a personal gravity-fed system. We do this with water all the time. This is how dams work. We pump water uphill behind a dam, and then we let it fall down during the day, and we capture that energy. In batteries, you literally have a lithium ion that is electrically charged. So imagine it's like a magnet. And when we charge our battery, we stretch that magnet, we pull that thing away from the other plate, and we let it hang out in the other plate.
Yep.
And when you discharge your batteries, either in your car or in your house, that electron just slams back the other way, and the electron has to go through the cable, and the lithium ion goes to the other side.
So
Do you think-
okay, so I want to understand this technology a little bit better. So is it that close to a magnet, and that when I plug in something to charge it, when I plug in my phone to charge it, it's actually
Pulling electrons.
attracting it's attracting the electrons to one side, so that they are essentially in the stretched rubber band position.
100%.
So that as soon as I start using the power, it's de-stretching, or that rubber band is pulling things back.
So to make that analogy really explicit, when you plug in your phone, you actually place electrons on this plate.
Yeah.
And you place electrons here, and it pushes the lithium ion, which is positively charged, away from that plate. It repels it.
Yeah.
Until it goes to the other side. Or you place electrons over here, and it sucks it over, whichever way you're going to look at
Yeah.
it. Right? You're creating a differential in electrical charge, and you're stretching one ion over at a time. And it's a bunch of small rubber bands. Instead of one big one that you're stretching tighter, it's actually just a bunch of small rubber bands that you're wound every electron. And then when you discharge your battery, what you're doing is you're putting a copper wire between the two plates. An electron can go through that copper wire, and that goes through your motor or your light bulb or your phone.
Yeah.
And that lithium ion then goes to the other plate. And the poles of that other plate is what forces the electron through the cable.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how batteries work. And to make them more energy dense, we have to cram more lithium into a smaller space.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So tell me about what the obstacles are to doing that.
The big one is lithium metal batteries are the next frontier. So we've been using lithium ion batteries.
Correct.
So imagine an egg carton and a ping pong ball.
Okay.
What we are doing is we are making egg cartons, and we're using this one ping pong ball, and it's great. But the problem is, like, egg cartons don't stack eggs perfectly as dense as you can get them, right? They space them out so they don't touch.
Yeah.
We only know how to make egg cartons. If we can make lithium metal, it's a crystal. So you've ever seen like a salt crystal? It's always the same shape. Makes these like structures where they pack perfect every time.
Yeah.
Lithium is a metal, and lithium metal is a crystal, and it will pack perfectly every time. So we could take these lithium ions and then pack them perfectly crystalline, which would be the densest form of this battery. The only problem with that is crystals are pointy. And it is this silly. Crystals are actually just pointy. And they poke when you grow them, when you would recharge or discharge your battery. They poke through the plastic separator that prevents the electron from going to the other side.
Right.
And when that crystal pokes through, it's a short circuit, and your battery turns into a fire.
Right. Solid state.
I ran a solid state battery company for a number of years before I got married.
Do you think so? Toyota's out there with their solid state technology. Do you think we're 27, 28, 29, or 30 away from seeing this in the market?
We've been 15 years away for the last 40 years for hydrogen vehicles.
Yes.
We have been 15 years away from solid state for the last 15 years.
I feel like it's right here in front of us.
So I think solid state is, from a safety perspective, is getting
That's what I'm driving at.
But lithium metal batteries that actually are have a life cycle long enough to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I built lithium metal batteries like in the company we ran. Like we did this, we could do it. It was really cool. It's just too expensive to make them commercially.
Yeah.
Like the tech does exist. It's just not same as your energy question. This isn't a question of have we invented the physics yet?
So
capitalism just doesn't let us.
So
do
to
it.
make it,
That's a good point.
To make
It really
it viable economically to create them, does it take just a growth in that market, or is something else needing to change? A supply needs to come down in cost.
This is why we have the NSF and the NIH and grant research in the United States that I hope they don't fully kill, and they're working on it, but I hope we don't.
Yeah, I hope not either.
We throw money into a black hole as a country every year, and it's
Yes.
the best money we've ever spent.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of crazy PhD candidates or companies or smart people that basically do drugs all day and write grants about the future that we think we can build this thing that doesn't exist.
Yes.
And 99 out of 100 don't ever become commercially viable,
Yeah.
which is totally fine. At least we get PhD candidates that know how to do research, and we try a bunch of stuff that no one else would, because capitalism can't take the risk on this insane idea.
That's right.
So what we do as a nation is we socially all put a couple of coins in the piggy jar, and every year we crack it open and give it out. And every once in a while, you have this like breakthrough moment.
We hit a home run.
Yeah.
Hit a home run,
And that pays for all the other ones.
And
all
well,
the losses.
And most of the home runs are this big.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go to market. Even that home run doesn't go to market. Right. But it takes your home run that happened 10 years ago and your home run that happened 3 years ago and my home run that just happened. When you put all three of them together, now it's a commercially viable product. And one day we'll wake up and they'll be here.
Yeah,
right.
I think it'll be a 10-year overnight success or 20-year, whatever it is. Like this narrative of it's actually never one Einstein moment.
Your point is so well taken too, because if you look at the current EV technology with batteries from 10 years ago, we thought those batteries would last X, right? And they'd poop out. Well, they're lasting longer. They're way longer, like 100,000 miles longer, like 10 more years longer. And suddenly it's like, okay, if that technology is 10 years old and we're getting way more out of it than we thought.
Yeah. As made, it's lasting longer than expected.
Yes. Yeah. And the tech is only getting better, to your point, Grant,
and
earlier.
lithium batteries are just compound interest.
Oh my
They've been
God,
getting
right.
5%, 2 to 5% better every year since 1990.
There you go. So it's just it's this. You made a comment earlier about compound interest.
It's a hell of a drug.
My God, and it applies to exactly what we're talking about right now. This tech, it is compounding exponentially. We just don't know how fast it's compounding because it's happening in front of our very eyes, and we're not capable, as you said, to do that. We can't calculate that in our mind.
And what's crazy is the lithium battery game is so slow.
Oh my God!
Relatively, like the reason we don't see the change is because it's just slowly happening a little bit every year.
Yes.
Look at the AI change. Like this is what I can't fathom. My grandmother grew up without electricity in the first house that she was born in, and she died with an iPhone in her hand. I thought her experience of life had to be wild. She went from like there weren't airplanes that regularly flew to like we landed a person on the moon to you could fly around the world anywhere in 25 hours.
Imagine the change that we'll experience
in the next 5 years. Like I'm not even worried about the next 50. Like the next 5 are going to be wild if you look at the last 6 months.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking about like space travel, like how much is going to be different about space travel, because there's so many people that are investing, it's a small number, but it's a lot compared to what it used to be, investing in space travel and expanding that technology. And at some point we're probably going to figure out why to go into space besides just exploration. And
go watch Hail Mary and figure out how we get to Mars in a shorter period of time. Then it's all harnessing energy and being able to do something with that doggone energy. And it's exactly what we're talking about. It's clever, and so, those home runs are needed.
So you said when we had a call about this episode, you said that AI is, or that hard tech is more important than AI.
To me.
Okay.
To you, to his business, yes.
Yeah, but I think the hardware layer is what will make AI change everyone's lives when that hits.
Okay.
Right?
Explain that.
So all of us in this room, I can tell that you guys like know software and websites and tech. So all of us are really excited about AI. Like we think it's the neatest thing ever, and like holy cow, I can't believe this exists.
Right.
To my dad, who's an attorney, it didn't mean anything to him until about 4 weeks ago when I introduced him to Claude Cowork, and he lost his mind.
Yeah.
And now he's
4 weeks ago.
It took me a while to get him to do it.
Okay.
He was too busy making money being a lawyer.
Right.
Like he's like, why would I spend 12 or 18 hours learning how to do email faster when I build this to do contract negotiation? I'm like, all right, you do you. And then one day on the weekend, I had some spare time. I was like, all right, let me show you how this works. And his mind completely melted and leaked out of his ears. And he has done nothing but teach his firm how to now use Claude Cowork.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And his IT team loves and hates him because he's the squeakiest wheel right now.
Yeah. And so now it's like the whole plan is now we're going to do our legal work that took us 8 hours, and and we're going to do it in 2 and sit around for 6 hours talking about how we
How do we get that? How do we build those 6 hours that we lost?
Well, and it's how do you? Their whole industry is changing. It's going to go to
Oh,
value
yeah.
build. It's gonna be awesome. But
Yeah.
he's having a blast. But I use that as an analogy because this is one more thing in knowledge work that now is making someone's life better, easier. Now he's in the Kool-Aid train. Let's zoom all the way out to my mom, who's retired, doesn't work anymore. Her life's not changing. AI has not made her life better.
Right.
The moment that AI gets into what I'm going to call the physical world, we can now have a Tesla robot, humanoid robot.
Yeah.
Because you need AI to actually drive these like randomized situations that can be in her house and do her laundry and take out the trash and do these small quality of life moments for her, especially as she ages. She's fine now. She's spry. She's amazing. But in 10 or 15 years, she's going to...
Well, that is that's automated driving, right? That's autonomous driving. That's the elderly are going to be the first to benefit from that in ways that we can't even imagine right now.
Exactly. They definitely will because, automated cars is kind of cool for us right now, but for
someone who's losing their license is changing.
Yeah, my parents.
Or someone who cannot see very
That's
well
exactly
anymore
right.
because of age
That's
or whatever.
right.
Now it's like you can still get around.
Yeah.
You can still have independence, and there's going to be
right.
other kinds of technology besides cars
That's
that help
exactly
somebody that has either age or is crippled, which is we're not supposed to use that word, but I'm going to use it today.
But there are devices. Grant, I'm sure you know this for injured individuals that have been amputated. You just be hurt and you strap this thing to your waist and you're like gimpy, and all of a sudden you're bionic. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, bionic is the cool way.
Yeah, I know. I think so too. I do want to say, to your point, Grant, this year after tax season, we got our taxes back for the business. I fed it to AI.
Oh, my accountant hated me this year.
Yeah. I got all the information. I got it.
Your accountant doesn't.
I asked a lot of
AI
questions,
tools.
and I sent it to our accountant, and I sent it to him. I said, "Hey, FYI, take a look at this.
These 3 things up.
Holy shit!" He called me back. He said, "Who did this?" I said, "Grok.
My
I use Grok. Yeah, I use Grok." And he's like, "Huh?" And we had a 45-minute conversation on that because there were some things there that make a lot of sense that didn't get captured.
Yep.
And so I can see to your dad's perspective, I can absolutely see how that can change your world instantly.
And that's just the next rung in the ladder.
That's right.
Of people that are going to jump into the AI bandwagon and
Yes.
drink the Kool-Aid and
Yes.
get sucked into the river.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it won't be until it hits the physical world that
That's right.
everyone gets drug in.
Okay, so I want to talk about that.
This is the
because
Let's get on that subject in a second, but I
Go
want to
ahead.
ask a quick question. Why is it, I heard you Michael, you talk about using Grok and Grant, you use Claude.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think, does it seem like Claude is the most popular these days? I think they are
They're
the most
highest
talked
valued.
about. Yeah.
They're the
They're
highest
making the
valued.
most money.
Yeah.
So why do you think that Claude, and why do you use Claude?
Ask the full question because I think they're both important separately.
Right. Why do you think
I
that?
heard that.
Why do you think that Claude appears to be the most popular? They're making the most money. They're the highest valued company in terms of like
In the race, yeah.
And then you
Why do we
and
choose it?
people like you have chosen to use it. Why do you think that is?
So it's actually not because of the model; it's because of the harness. So Anthropic, who makes Claude, were one of the very first people to build an agentic harness for software development that completed the loop. I'm just going to call it that. Completed this loop where the agent could yell at itself and think about things and make mistakes and then fix them and then test them and then do it again, the way software developers do.
Yeah.
Right? I write shitty code, I hit compile, error at line 37, go back, fix it, and iterate. And Claude Code was the very first not a toy version of that.
Yeah.
That started to become better than humans at that.
Yeah.
And they solved software development. And that happened in late 25.
Okay.
And it was a very good, like very, very well-kept secret.
Yeah.
Right? A very few people at the very cutting edge learned about Claude Code when it first came out and started using it and raved about it, and everyone thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I just use Gemini and it answers my questions. It's the best. It helps me
Yeah.
write software in autocomplete and Copilot. It was amazing. But you hadn't tasted agent yet.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everyone went home for the holidays between November and December of 25 and got bored. and had 4 hours themselves. They weren't having to deliver work. They were just playing. Mm-hmm. And they got to play with Claude Code.
And then tweeted about it.
And then the world
Blew
just
up.
exploded.
Yeah.
And it's recursive because Claude Code, no one at Anthropic has written a line of code in forever. Only Claude has written code there. They yell at Claude to write their code now.
Yeah.
And it's recursive self-learning. Not that the AI is yet AGI and full recursive, but their software development practice is out exponential to everybody for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now everyone else is caught back up, right? The nice thing is like Chat GPT has now got Codex and GPT work or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
They have great harnesses and the models are getting better. Like Fable's nuts, but GPT 5.6 Soul is insane.
Yeah.
They came out effectively 2 weeks apart, but really 2 months apart. But Fable got taken off market because of regulatory.
Mm-hmm.
But to the world, they came out 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
That 2 week head start for Fable was everything.
Yeah.
Had 5.6 Soul come out first, I think GPT would be the thing everyone talks about today.
And you know this, Daniel. I use Grok because it's in my car. It's in my Tesla.
Yep.
Right. So I use it because it's there, and I use it because I have. When I'm driving, I'll ask business questions or act as my advisor, fill in the blanks. And when I get to the office, I want to be able to get on my computer and take that
conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, or on my iPad. So that's why I use it. I do think that whatever you start with, stay with it because it builds exponentially with you. Now, you may disagree with that.
I disagree.
I knew you were going to say it. But if you're a layman, just a regular person that's not using it to build a business or create stuff for business, if you're just getting into it, start with something and just continue to use it. If
Definitely
you need
start.
Yeah, right? So if you need to transition because of whatever it is you're doing with specificity, okay, great, do that. But I think for your mother, your father, whomever, you start with
Start.
Yes, that's what I'm.
jump in the pool.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Which leads me to two questions. Do we think there will be one universal AI? Do you think all these companies?
No.
Do you think that we'll always have these separate entities? Claude, Grok.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the names and companies might change, but
You don't see that there's going to be one universal.
I mean, as always, there will be acquisitions. There will be
course.
companies that win and companies that win less, and some that
Yeah.
lose. But I think that there's always going to be competition, and more are being created that we haven't heard about. probably.
Agreed with that.
So I think that, Grant, you're exactly right. I totally agree with you. I wouldn't have thought of that answer as the primary answer because of not being, in the industry that you're in. But I think that is a key reason why Claude has moved ahead. I think another reason is because they have done the design of their platform better.
Yeah.
So their platform is better, more appealing to today's design aesthetic. So for example, Grok has a very Star Trek look, which is great design,
Right.
but it's a design that is not on people's minds. It's not what is winning from a brand standpoint.
And it's the brand association.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
Of course.
Insert Mecha Hitler quote in
Yeah.
the news 4
Yeah.
months, whenever that was.
Yeah,
Whenever
that's
someone,
a reason
someone
why-
tricked Grok into saying something unsavory.
Yeah,
That's never lifted.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
You're totally right about that. So you've got, and then ChatGPT came first in everybody's mind in terms of like public conversation.
Right.
So they thrusted ahead, but then Claude had consistency. They had this core product that appealed to the people that needed to develop code, and they have an aesthetic that is clean and friendly and nice. And then people in the tech and marketing industry are talking about it.
Right.
And then here's another big thing that Claude did. They did an ad campaign, and that ad campaign
did.
kicked ass.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
all about how it was not about here's the features of AI.
Right.
It was all about how you're better off.
Yeah. Here's how your life
Right.
could be or can be.
It was not even about what AI is capable of.
Right.
It's what it won't do.
Right.
Is we won't steal your
That's right.
information.
That's right.
Well, they made it good for work.
Yeah.
Right. So ChatGPT is what I think of when I think of home AI.
yeah.
I'm gonna go Google this. The new one is I'm gonna go ask Chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Chat, how do I fix this leaky sink? Blah blah blah. What all these things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anthropic never became that.
Right.
Yeah.
Claude was never the one you'd use at home. Claude was
Yep.
what you use for work.
Yeah, exactly.
They were the Microsoft play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Microsoft
And
became-
everyone I know everyone I've known over the last 6 months that is using Claude, they're using it in ways they didn't even use it 6 months ago.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's technology.
Or last week.
I do want to address this. So this week, China came out and said, "Look, our birth rates are down again, year over year for the last 4 years. We think it has everything to do with AI." China has said this. They're coming out with regulations against creating AI or using AI as a relationship tool because they have surveyed their population, and the population that uses AI has said, I have a great relationship with AI. I have a better relationship with AI than I do a physical relationship with somebody. And so the government is now saying, we've got to stop that. We need to get our birth rates up because our model, if you know anything about China, you got to have more people. You can't have less. So they're fighting that, right?
Which is ironic from the country that had a one-child policy not that long
Thank you.
ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's a lot of irony with this, but isn't that fascinating where you've got countries now that are saying, hey, that's not good for us.
I'm not surprised. So if you look at the culture in rapidly expanding Asia, right, over the last 30 years or 40 years, so look at South Korea and Japan. So the birth rates in South Korea and Japan are terrifyingly low.
Yeah, it's not
there are
sustainable.
more adult diapers sold in Japan than there are child diapers every year. The population's aging, and it's cultural because of the push to be productive.
Yes.
They went through the entire tech revolution and industrial revolution in these countries at light speed compared to America, and it pushed a culture of performance and success. And what's ironic is the gendered equality in Japan that was very pushed in, they were very progressive on it, became this thing that prevented children and families because their corporate culture became too competitive.
Yeah.
You couldn't take the
Right.
time to have a family because you would fall behind.
Right.
If you fell behind, their economy wasn't growing fast enough that your lifestyle would slip.
It's a double-edged sword.
And it drove this entire generation to prioritize work over family.
And that's
South Korea-
worldwide.
And it's worldwide. And South Korea is doing it too. And
Oh, yeah.
South Korea and Japan are speed running this is the joke. And the rest of us are just playing at regular
Yeah,
speed.
that's
America's
right.
heading there.
Yeah.
And China's seen it happen. But their growth rate of their country is so aggressive, they can't afford to even have it hit the brakes.
Well, and China is playing with tech in ways, I hate to harp on EV, but I mean, China's doing things with EVs that no other countries are doing right now. I mean, they've got more EV startup companies, unsustainable, I might add, than any other country, and they're taking over the world with it, and their tech is second to none. But that is not a capitalistic market or model, right? I mean, that is a government-driven model that supports the tech.
But what's interesting is I think everybody has a form of capitalism and a form of socialism, and they
Agreed.
have exactly that.
Yeah,
they
agreed.
just have the
It's
opposite
a
of
higher
what
on-
the U.S.
yeah.
has. And the government being involved, they're still essentially a capitalist country against the rest of the world, right?
That's
so they're
right.
focusing on building industry and what their socialist, government control. And then there are locally owned businesses. There are
right.
individuals that own businesses. But,
Some are.
But then there's the largest industry is at least controlled by the government. And what that does is that allows them to be more coordinated in their race against the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But what is that like for the quality of life? I have no idea. I
And
don't
nor
know if
do
it's
I.
better. I don't know if it's better or I don't know if it's worse.
I don't know.
And that's something that I think would be an interesting topic to talk about.
For sure.
We should pick up on that on our next episode.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Grant, thanks for coming
Grant,
out.
thank you
This was
so
great
much.
chat.
You were the best. That was
All right.
awesome.
All right.
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Have a great week.